complete project is free. This offer won't last long, so call West Shore Home now.
I think it's always fun to have an excuse to dress up, don't you? We live in a far too casual of a world these days, so you are invited to a wonderful luncheon coming up on November 2nd, and the fun that you will have will all give back to a very worthwhile organization. It's called Gowns for Good. This is the inaugural year. Joel Henderson is here. He's with Volunteers in Medicine. Rhonda Thurman is sporting a beautiful gown to get us excited. She and Linda Hood are co-chairing the event this year, so welcome to you both, and don't you look stylish?
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here and talk with you, no matter what time of day, to find myself in a tux.
Right, but you know, I mean what I said. I stumbled over my words a little bit there, but we do live in such a casual society now. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she, for various reasons, was going through her closet. There was a purpose behind it, and she just couldn't get over how many clothes that she had. But once upon a time, you needed that many clothes. We didn't wear jeans all the time.
Absolutely.
So to get to have an excuse for a woman to go out and purchase a cocktail dress or a ball gown, even if it just hangs in your closet to make you feel good, is a wonderful thing.
Sure.
What was the creation behind this? How did y'all come up with this idea?
Well, when you think about as we come out of the pandemic, people are going to be looking in their closets and saying, hopefully things still fit, or maybe some styles have changed for themselves personally, but what a great opportunity to take something in your closet and donate it for something for good, thus Gowns for Good.
So this is not, I mean, you're going to have a chance to see these beautiful gowns. We'll talk to Rhonda here in a second. And there will be a fashion show with this event, and then an auction so that people can leave with sometimes a brand new gown, right,
Absolutely.
Joel?
Yeah. And the goal is hopefully between 150 or upward for the gowns, because that is the cost of what a patient access appointment is at Volunteers in Medicine for primary care.
Oh no, okay, say that again. So the least expensive gown will be $150, but the reason you're paying that is because that covers the cost of one patient to be seen?
Absolutely. So take a gown or a dress out of your closet, and it helps a person receive access to care. I mean, how awesome is that to make a difference?
It is indeed. Okay, I have to throw you into this conversation now, Rhonda, because you're far too pretty over there. When you came walking in, I was not alone in exclaiming over your gown that you're wearing. I love the versatility of it.
Thank you. Thank you. I've actually worn it to a charity event, and now I think it would be perfect for a wedding or any other black tie event, as most of these dresses are. We have several things that would be appropriate for mother of the bride. We have things that would be appropriate for any charity ball. This is just a fun pantsuit that I think you could wear to any party.
Yeah.
Most all of these dresses actually are still tagged. They've never been worn. This is gorgeous in person. It actually is a $1,600 price tag.
Wow.
And it's never been worn. So we have all of this and about 2 more racks completely full of dresses, and we'd love for you to come and check them out at the event.
I don't want to pepper you with questions that you can't quite answer, but I'm sure other people are sitting at home doing the same math I'm doing.
Okay.
So the pink dress, that's a regular $1,600 dress.
Correct, yes.
It's possible that it could go for as little as $150, but that one will probably end up being auctioned, right?
More than likely. We are taking the top 10 gowns based on value and based on versatility, and doing a fashion show around those dresses, and those are the ones that are going to be auctioned off.
So I think you had told me that the majority of these gowns have been donated by individual women. Is that correct?
That is correct. We've had so many charitable women that have contacted us. I'll be happy to meet you somewhere and pick them up if you can't make it over to the clinic. But we've had so many women that have called me up and donated. Some women have donated as many as 7 dresses, which we are so appreciative of. The location to drop off is a Monday through Wednesday drop-off time from 9 to 4 at the clinic, Volunteers in Medicine. It's right next door to the public library, which is behind Eastgate Mall. But if you cannot make it during those times, please contact us and I'll be happy to meet up and arrange something to pick up.
You know, Joel, I know you mentioned that some of the people will have, you know, gowns that are kind of now out of season or out of style. I have this great story, I love to tell it, of my mom years ago was at the Symphony in Atlanta and the Woodruff Art Center, and she was there for a good part of the day. So she kept noticing this woman. My mom was in her 80s, this woman was in her late 80s, and she had on this beautiful, I think it was a scarf or something. Anyway, story goes that my mom kept staring at her. Eventually, she couldn't stare any longer, and so she went up to her and said, I just can't get over your blouse or whatever it was. And the lady at 88 smiled and said, oh, isn't it lovely? I got this in Egypt in 1942.
Wow.
When you find something that's really exquisite, you keep it, right? This is an opportunity for some people to come and get something really, really great and use it for a lifetime.
Absolutely, some couture pieces. You know, sometimes, and my wife's the same way. She's like, oh, I wore this a couple times. It's beautiful, but then she's ready for it to go into someone else. Or like Rhonda was saying, some of the pieces have never been worn, some of the items.
Right.
So that's exciting to take something, make it your own, and celebrate. I was saying earlier, how fun will it be at a charity event, talk about Chattanooga Can Do, when you say, I love what you're wearing, you say, thank you, I got it Gowns for Good.
You know, that really is very true. And let's talk about the luncheon that day, because it is not an evening event. They know how busy we all are. So you've purposely made this a lunchtime occasion at the Westin, where people can come in their work clothes to then see their evening clothes.
Right,
Is that
so right across the street, the Gilman Event Hall, which is a part of the Westin family, beautiful property, fairly new, so it's exciting. If you haven't been there, another opportunity to come out, enjoy a new space, to have the live charity auction, the fashion show, and getting back together and sharing hugs as we get past the pandemic together.
So Rhonda, are you going to be one of the models?
No, ma'am.
Listen to how quickly she said that.
ma'am.
No, I guess you and Linda will be busy. Will be busy as co-chairs. You know, the Gilman Event Hall, and forgive me for saying the Westin. It's not. I mean, it'll seat what, about 300? Is that about the cap?
We're doing a combination of things, but with the fashion show, if we can do over 200 this year, we feel it's a nice, intimate setting.
Okay.
But we'll make room if we need to. But 200, 225, that's kind of our goal.
That's a great goal, but if I'm guessing on Chattanooga, tickets will all of a sudden go, and they'll go quickly. So there is that limitation, so you don't want people to wait, Rhonda, to get their ticket.
That's absolutely correct. We have links on our website, the Volunteers in Medicine website, for you to go and purchase tickets, or there are still a couple of tables available. If you wanted a table of 8 is $600, and then the tickets are $75 each.
The women who will be modeling that day, you think there are about 10 in the fashion show. Those are the dresses that will be available for you to then bid on at auction, and each woman will represent one of the sponsors. Do I have that right?
Absolutely. So it's a very authentic event of having our sponsors also being celebrated for supporting something such as this, to have one of their staff, or maybe themselves, one of the owner might be involved, to be out there and have the courage to walk on the catwalk and celebrate once again, helping people receive access to care.
So no woman wants to be dressed up and not have an escort. So the men are not being left out of this either. Y'all have something called the Top Hat Society?
We do. We have our top hats, and I brought this, and thank you for the reminder with that. So we have our Top Hat Ambassadors, which are 10 distinguished gentlemen. Many folks, we recognize them, faces in our community, who have stepped forward in saying, how can we help increase awareness and funding, because once again, to provide charitable care at no cost for uninsured residents, it takes money. And so those folks have been out and helping us do fundraising.
Ah, the Top Hat will flip over and become a donation site. Okay, I do want to ask you this, because I got so caught up in the fun that I did kind of lose sight of the heart. So at Volunteers in Medicine, you used a buzzword to me, and that is for people who don't have insurance. I think that people have the wrong idea that everybody has insurance these days. They simply don't. Is that right?
Absolutely. We treat the low-income population, and these days, I'll tell you, with the economy, many of us paycheck to paycheck, trying to make sure we have food and all those basics in life. Where does health insurance come into play with that? So at Volunteers in Medicine, we serve primary care, a medical home, adults 19 to 64 who otherwise would not have access to primary care services. And once again, our patients never receive a bill. And substantially, when our doors opened, that's over 76,000 patient appointments, which is over $26 million, what that would have been for traditional clinic appointments, or 110 million if they'd gone through the emergency department, which is the most common place that folks who don't have insurance, they go to the emergency department.
And you might be surprised to find out that people you know in your everyday life fit that category.
Absolutely.
And you would never know it. So by simply going and having an enjoyable afternoon in the beautiful month of November in Chattanooga, and maybe getting a chance to come home with a gown that you'll have an excuse to wear, how can you beat that? So it's the Gilman Event Hall right there on Pine Street. If you go to vim-chat.org, is that how you get your tickets?
Correct.
You did hear Rhonda say that there are still some tables available if you want to treat your employees to a beautiful afternoon. And I wish you could twirl for us, Rhonda, because you just look great.
Julia, what are you doing? We have a commercial to film.
I'm taking a break.
Breaks are what we're telling people about. Budget breaks.
Visit budgetbreaks.com for locations and coupons. Budget Breaks. Breaks starting at just $100.